Look, I know a lot of you are running down to the comments right now telling me
TenZ is still in his prime, dumbass. You are clearly stupid and uneducated. You are a dumbass and you should die now for insulting my glorious king TenZ.
And I don't entirely disagree. TenZ hasn't retired yet, so there is still a huge chance of him making a big comeback and becoming the player he once was. But after watching him play out his career after Champions 2021, it's been pretty clear that TenZ's first prime is over and done with. He hasn't qualified for any major events like Masters or Champs. He's been knocked off a primary duelist position, faced the threat of being benched entirely, and had an entire documentary made on his fall off. And that's a problem, because in the middle of all this drama and disappointment, I think a lot of us fans have forgotten how crazy good this man was at his peak and have taken his greatness for granted. So for the next 4 minutes, let's dive into the absolute insanity of Prime TenZ. This next section I'm going to do in under 30 seconds because it's extremely boring and nobody cares. TenZ's first stint in competitive Valorant was basically 2018 LeBron James, a godlike player who could do everything and frag out, but the rest of his team wasn't exactly the greatest. In fact, I haven't heard of any of these guys in the past year, and that's saying a lot because Valorant is 3 years old, and this led to a ton of low rankings in events with Cloud9, eventually causing him to retire because nothing was working out. Now you all know the story, right? I won't stretch this out long. He was subbed into Sentinels because of a domestic abuse case, and eventually signed there permanently. Hence, Prime TenZ was born. Now, to explain Prime TenZ's dominance, I've made a little graph of the highest ACS of every player throughout international events. The top 8 is pretty predictable. You have undisputed legends like Ye and Durker, aim gods like Scream, demons from the hellspawn that is APAC like Kang and Jing, and Durker and Ye again because they're just the GOATs. Every single one of these players on this list has cemented their legacies in professional Valorant because of just how godly they were during their tournaments and putting on absolute masterclasses in their gameplay. Except, we're missing one. After 3 years of professional Valorant, millions of players, and the game rapidly evolving, Prime TenZ's dominance remains untouched, with nobody coming close to beating him.
He's got a kill, man. All up in Moose's face, and he's getting a jumping one as well on the Thief. I said this the first time I called TenZ. This is his world, and we're just living it.
Now, everybody and their grandma knows this clip. It was the game between Sentinels and Luminosity, and in his debut with Sentinels, TenZ had perhaps the most iconic series in Valorant history to date. 69 kills, 17 first bloods, top fragging every single map. This was stage 1 of Champions North America qualifiers, which Sentinels eventually went on to win, and the 13th of March 2021 would mark the birth of Prime TenZ. After the series, Sentinels proceeded to play the next 23 series with 4 qualifiers against international and North American teams. Their record? 21-2, which is absolutely crazy, and of course, TenZ was the undisputed man of the team, sometimes going 26-9-6 on Reyna, 37-13-9 on Jett. Either ways, he averaged a rating of 1.28, an absurd KD of 1.354, and an ACS of 265. Now these might just sound like random numbers I put together, but when you put that against the reigning champion MVP, Demon 1, who is currently 1.26 rating, 246 ACS, and 1.39 KD, TenZ's dominance begins to really shine. And this was all in the regular season, not even Masters Reykjavik 2021 is what everybody remembers TenZ for. Like I showed earlier in the video, TenZ's performance at this event has never come close to being matched. A 1.48 KD, 1.44 rating, and the iconic 289.4 ACS. But that's not even the most impressive part, because throughout the entirety of Reykjavik, the TenZ-led Sentinels refused to drop a single map against the likes of Fnatic, Newton, and Vikings. Their record for the entire tournament, and I kid you not, was 9-0. They swept Fnatic in the grand finals. TenZ was Jesus walking on water with games like 33, 19, and 13, or 21, 9, and 2. Now, at a time, I'll give him this, everybody was still trying to figure the game out. It wasn't as strategically evolved as VCT is today. Durga was on Sova, Shazam was on Jet, and teams were playing double Sentinel on Split. It was a rough time for Valorant competitive, and TenZ took advantage of that with his otherworldly mechanical skill. You know, to put it simply, he just out-aimed everybody, and it worked. Now the Prime didn't exactly end at Reykjavik, but I do want to stop the video here because the dominance would only extend a few more lousy months, with fairly unimportant events like NA Challenges and Berlin's group stage, all the way until Champions 2021. Now I'd like to make a whole separate video about the fall off. You know, I could stretch the video to 10 minutes with the infamous crew smoke spray and all that. But as for now, I'd like to just appreciate Prime TenZ for a moment. He was record breaking, dominant, and all around the peak of Valorant at the time, and hopefully we get to see that TenZ again next year, and I will see you again next video.